Oh, good morning. Hope folks back east are not sweltering. I was looking at the weather reports for upstate New York, and my goodness, it's places that are normally this time of year in the 60s, 70s, they were saying 101. I mean, they're having LA type temperatures up there. So, um, how's it down on the islands, Scott?
It's starting to warm up. We had a couple of real hot days, then it cooled off. Now it's starting up again. We just opened the pool yesterday,
Yeah,
so
they're saying
it's
around all.
balance time.
They said around Albany it's going to be 98 to 100. I mean, that's real hot for up there. So uh, I'm just we'll be back in September. Just have that nonsense over by then. So today we are having June gloom out here in LA, which is nice. It was I think our high today is supposed to be 79. Yesterday was 93, so it was a nice going out this morning, and almost wishing I had a sweater when I was walking the dogs. But
Real
today,
quickly, let me break
yeah,
in real quick. Don, that was Grant's Cafe.
Okay, yeah, Grant's Cafe.
Okay.
You're right. I thought it was the Atomic. The Atomic is just down the street from it, but I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
great. Today I was going to start with some movie of Disneyland on opening day, but I had a little technical glitch. I didn't get it done. So if anybody came in to see opening day, you can go back to the box office. You'll get your refunds issued. But we do have a bunch of Disneyland souvenir films to start, and then I have if anybody's into train, how many people into trains besides me? We have some real neat footage of the Southern California Railroad Museum in 1973, where they were running a bunch of their electric trains, and some of them haven't run much since then. So it's just kind of neat to see. And then just for variety, we get to go over to see Universal Studios. So let me start here sharing the screen. And I am going to optimize it. And we're going to start here. This is a reel of souvenir movies that somebody, excuse me, put together. Let me start here. The first one here is still on the red side. I'm still working on it. And I think we saw this one, this particular one a couple weeks ago, but it's less red than it was. And we're getting to see it because it's stuck at the beginning of the reel. But we get to see Main Street, USA in 1960. This thing in its natural form is bright red. Now, while this thing is running, just fill folks in on what I've been doing the past week. There's a new version of some film restoration software that came out that I was trying and was having some pretty good luck with, but there were some glitches in it that I wrote up the guys over in Switzerland that's doing it, and I wrote a note to him and said, hey, yeah, I really like your software, but it does this, and that. And he wrote back, great minds think alike. I just fixed all those things. Here's the new release. So I got the new release running behind me in another computer right now, and it seems to be doing a pretty nice job. One of the things that I found on it was a couple weeks ago, we were looking at some footage, particularly with the submarine ride at Disneyland, and people are commenting on how there were some spots that were really red, some of the rocks and the sea monsters' eyes and that. This new software takes care of that. Here's the plaque, by the way, Walt's opening words. But if you go to the park today, it's a much more elaborate bronze plaque with scroll work and everything else. Now, if you go to the park today, unfortunately, you can't buy one of those really cool hats the person on the right is wearing. So this first reel came. What's that?
I said nobody on the street. It's empty.
No, I guess even in 1960 they had quiet days. So these are all little reels of film they sold on 50-foot reels, and that they had them for a variety. And they did Main Street, they did Fantasyland. Matter of fact, Fantasyland was so popular they have Fantasyland Part 1 and Part 2, Tomorrowland, the Haunted Mansion, that sort of thing. This particular one came out quite red. The next ones we'll see are much nicer in color. Sometimes when I'm working on these, I'll shoot them through a blue filter, which takes out a bunch of the red. You just have to make sure that you don't go too strong in blue or you start ending up with everything turning green on you. And it's one more thing to fix. But even if it's red, we get to see Disneyland and its Walt era. Speaking of that, has people seen the video of the new pirate on the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
Looks terrible to me.
I like the idea. I recognize the hard work that went into it, but it just doesn't quite work.
No.
Yeah.
For the folks that haven't seen it, you start with a pirate with a realistic looking face. Live, it replaces the pirate who was sitting there on the pile of the treasure, holding up a bunch of pearls and that through his hand. And this one person said it's like his greed got so much to him, he never went out and ate. He just died with his treasure. Well, the new one's sitting there and he's got a realistic human face and he's looking at stuff. And I gather there's a curse on the treasure, and all of a sudden he turns into a skeleton. But the skeleton, it just doesn't look right at all. I mean, it's very glaring what they've done. It's also glaring to me that you have like one of those pirates, and then the others like the ones that are drinking the never-ending bottle of grog or whatever. You know, it's just seems like a real contrast between the styles. So
Is
somebody
it on
said,
YouTube, Bill?
yeah, it's all over the place on YouTube. Yep.
Okay, so
And
I just put in new pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean, Disney, and it'll probably pop up.
Try Pirates of the Caribbean pirate projection face,
Okay.
because it's the projected face.
Oh, it's a projected face. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, one person said that anybody in Imagineering, when they said, "Can we do this?" they said yes. And then did anybody ask, "Should we do this?"
Yep.
Well, it sounds a little bit like some of the stuff at Haunted Mansion, which we did years ago, that are projected, but they come off and they work because of the nature of the story there and the fact that you're kind of in this. I mean, you're both cases, you're in a fantasy world, but I mean, you're in this, I don't know, it just seemed to always work. You didn't notice, stuff like that where
Well, I mean, the environment they're using in the mansion, you have the Lolita in the crystal ball, and you have the tombstones.
right.
Those it just fits right in. But here you actually have
Yeah.
a pirate that amidst a bunch of skeletons, there's a guy who suddenly has flesh and blood, and then his face disappears and becomes a skeleton again. It just because it's not like you said, like the Haunted Mansion, it stands out. It jumps right out at you.
Yeah, because that's not what the story used to do. It didn't have magic in it, I guess you'd say. In other words, it changed from one thing to another. It was always you were looking at it as it was happening, and there was no magical changeover. And to suddenly decide, oh, we should have this guy go from a living guy to a skeleton, it's not the way the story was told.
No.
No. And the look on his face when he becomes a skeleton, it's really a super caricature. It's it's you have to go see it to believe it. It's really kind of bizarre.
It's an honest mistake, but hopefully they'll find a way to make it work better.
Yeah, they could put it
Well,
back.
again, I question the story content of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit in. And what's the point? I think some of the old timers, if they were still around, would have told whoever. I mean, it sounds like when you first heard it, like, wouldn't it be cool if it changed from a living person into a thing, into a skeleton? Okay, that sounds kind of neat. But is that following the storyline? Is it really what you want to do there?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, people said that technology they were using on the Frozen ride at Disney World, and people were complaining it didn't work too well, so they were upgrading it. So as long as we're doing it, let's go do Pirates. So here's another one of the 50-foot reels. They put these things out in full color, and luckily they stayed pretty much in full color.
Wow.
Get your poinsettias here.
Now, one of the things with these, they're fairly soft on focus, because again, they were probably making dupes of dupes of dupes of dupes. So when I go to the next step in the process, I'll sharpen them up on the computer. Oh, we get to see the fountain, the fish going around, and our departed swans.
You said these are 8mm?
Yeah, these are all 8mm.
Well, I was going to say that 8mm on a home projector, projected on a screen, 15 feet away in somebody's halfway dimly lit living room is, it's going to be as clear as it's going to get.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, that's the trouble. I have to keep reminding myself. I'm looking at something 18 inches or whatever away, and it's not on the other side of the room. And you get so spoiled today with high def TV. What was actually interesting was I was running some films on the old version of the restoration software and then on the new version, and I was saying, oh God, it's the new version's not quite red enough, and then realized that's because the old version was overread, and I had been using it for the last 3 years, so you get used to something being red, you accept it, and then you realize the new version is more accurate.
Is that vertical strip on the very right a remnant of the scanner, or is that film itself?
That's the edge of the film. So you see a kind of white stripe and then a scratchy line. That scratchy line is the edge of the film.
Okay, but the very right where it's white or light blue, where's that from? Is that from the scanner?
If you look at it, there's one spot way to the right, which is pure white with no dirt on it. When you go just to the left of that, there's a vertical line with dirt to the left of that. That vertical line is the edge of the film.
I got that, but the white is from where?
The scanner.
Okay, that's what I thought. On
Right.
the last film, between the white and the edge of the film, correction, between the white to the left of the edge, to the left of the edge of the film and to the right of the frame, there seemed to be another vertical strip of a whole nother scene in motion that did not relate to the scene in the frame, and it was through the whole film. It was like it was an overlay of a piece of film or something like that that got incorporated within it. Did you notice that? I'm sure you did. And can you tell me what that was?
Not offhand, but when this is done, we'll go back and look again.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. And of course, everybody's dressed up there for their rides.
Yeah, Bill, you talked about getting used to the look of a system, and that reminded me of back working for TV manufacturers. The TVs had a sharpness control,
Right.
and deciding what the center adjustment of that sharpness control was something that always drifted over the years, and some manufacturers' sets would get gradually over sharpened, and then they'd have a correction because everybody looked at it and looked at the competition and said, "Oh my God, how different are we?"
Yeah, and plus on the old TVs, as the tubes warmed up, things would shift quite a bit, wouldn't they? See, did you see behind the train, somebody just crossed the track?
Yeah.
I can move this up here and just rewind it. So when the train goes by, just look at, there's a right where we've seen before the gates for the employees parking area on the other side of the train track. So when it gets there, just watch the behind the train. Went back a little further than I thought, but we should be there in a moment. Okay, now watch behind the train. And somebody's
Yeah,
going.
there he goes.
Yep, across the track, and you can see the gates going up. He didn't want to wait for the gates. I mean, that's how people get hit by trains, right?
Happens every now and then out here on the LIRR.
Yeah, absolutely. We get it here in
Had
LA.
had
too.
one 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they redid a major train crossing in Burbank at Buena Vista because some guy went around the gate, got hit. So, it had been there for 100 years, but now the guy got hit. They spent millions and millions of dollars to build this very complicated set of ramps and roads, and somebody will still do something stupid.
Here we've had a couple people with headphones on and they just don't hear the train.
Well, we had one
Right. Ride their
patrol.
bike into it.
Yeah, we had one on patrol about 2 weeks ago where a guy stole some woman's purse and he ran into the train tunnel to get away, and was like, oh crap. So they call Metrolink and tell them to stop the trains so the officers can go in. But the guys in the helicopter had a great idea. They had their loudspeaker and they said, you might want to come out of that tunnel and surrender because the train's going to be here in about 3 minutes, and I don't know how fast you can run. The guy came out and surrendered. Yeah, we had two train tunnel incidents in one day. The guy stole the purse, and another one, he evidently wanted to commit suicide, so he went into the tunnel. But luckily, somebody saw him, and the train stopped both times. But well, here's the good old motorboat cruise. They even got sailor caps on, so they're all set. Wonder where all those boats ended up. Probably some junkyard crushed up or something.
Or a collector has one or two of their own.
Yeah. I could get one and put it in my pool.
Mhm.
About as big as my pool, but
Would take up about a good third of my pool.
we could take it up to camp and run it around on Orchard Lake.
There you go. I'm sure Leanne would love it.
Oh yeah.
No, ear flapping at this time.
Nope, the ears were solid by then.
You say this was 64?
Well, there's
Uh,
one that's not going up. Maybe that had floppy ears.
Or maybe the kid's just scared. There was no date on this one, Brock. The other one was 1960, and I don't know what year this particular series was released. I can try to date it by what's in it and what's not in it. I'm also in my garage. I have the 8mm catalogs in a file cabinet. I just need to clear some floor space so I can get to the file cabinet. The trouble again is they released a lot of these things, but they would do them with the same number and
Yeah.
change things over the years, but not change the number. So trying to figure out, okay, I got real number 630. Well, okay, do you have version 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of that?
And different years and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Like the Day in Disneyland one, there's at least 7 different titles done by 2 different companies. And some of them have things you can tell. Oh, Mickey's pointing up at Small World in one. He's pointing on the box. He's pointing down at Small World on the other. But then you get into the last version of it, where all of a sudden Harold, the abominable snowman, is in the middle of the Matterhorn, and it's the exact same box, exact same everything. But all of a sudden there's about a 6-second cut of the snowman in there. But you look at it, they look absolutely identical. So trying to figure them out is hard. Again, I can go back and figure out, okay, when did they change the trains from green to yellow? And, you know, you can start coming up
Yeah.
with some circa calculations, you know, but even on these,
Of course, the other thing you'd probably have to be careful about is, did they mix and match? Another scene from one land is maybe from 2 years prior. They just kept it because nothing changed there. And so you're seeing new stuff in another land, and you know, what date is it here?
yeah. One thing that's they did on some of the especially the Day in Disneyland ones was they took things from different years, and here we're seeing the whole film, but back at that point in time, you would see it, you know, going through your projector, it would mask out the edges of it. Well, you can see on the whole film of some of them that they were shot at different times because the whole aperture changes. You know, it's a full frame, boxed in, you know, letterboxed a bit, goes
Yeah.
back again, so that they definitely took things from many, many different years and cobbled them together.
There's Pepsi Cola again, and Golden Orchard.
Oh, and then some footage again, you can recognize, oh, you know, they use certain ones over and over. All the wonders of Disneyland, and the kids are just enjoying the ducks, as it should be. Have a great day.
Yeah, well, they didn't have ducks at home, so they're just
Yeah,
as magical as the rest of the place they're at.
that's. Oh, when we went down, the amount of money we spent on French fries to throw in that river and feed those ducks. Oh my goodness.
The duck's cholesterol must have been amazing.
I was gonna say their cholesterol, or do they all get cancer?
They never complained. No, we would always enjoy going to the Hungry Bear restaurant and you know, try to get over by the water and feed the ducks. The kids loved it. For a couple of years, I wouldn't eat at the Hungry Bear because I remembered it was closed for a you know, off season. It wasn't open, and they would tell you to go eat at some other restaurant. Well, the freezer power had failed, and all the meat that was in there had rotted,
Yeah.
and they literally had to jackhammer the floor out because no matter what they did to try to clean it, they couldn't get cleaned. So thinking, I every time I went back, I just remembered what it smelled like, and that put me off it for a while.
Yeah, I remember when that happened because there was a big, you know, to do about it and how they were going to have to fix it. And like you said, they literally had to jackhammer the floors out because you couldn't get the smell out of the concrete.
Yeah, it just ate its way right in.
Like the grills at Coney Island at Nathan's.
The old joke about, you know, it's a big day in Manhattan. It's the day the hot dog annual changing of the water at the hot dog stands.
Don't knock the dirty water dogs.
Yep. Had more than a few of those during my days working for the phone company. Our
Yeah.
cafeteria was not so great, so run down, grab something, just wander, enjoy. We were inside a building with no windows, so you just go at lunchtime and, you know, oh my God, there's the sun, and linger out in the street before it's time to go back on in.
Where was it? Where's do you remember where the office was?
811 10th Avenue. And it's a giant, it's a 42-story building, but only has 21 floors because each floor is twice as tall for the equipment and the cable bays over it, and has no windows. It's a big white building. Um, it's really, it was a very, very interesting facility to work. And I may have mentioned in another talk, when you got it had very slow elevators, but it had lights next to the elevators that were red, yellow, and green. And one of my first days, I asked, "What's with the traffic signals?" And they said, "Well, because we can't tell the weather in here, and there's a set of buttons down below at the guard gate. So he'll push the button if it's red, it's raining, he'll push the red button. If it's a nice day, he'll push the green button." And woe befell the guard who did not get the thing right, because you would take this thing down, elevator down 30 something floors or stories, and on a very slow elevator, you get down and find out it's pouring rain, and he had forgotten to push the button. People would give him hell.
And lousy Christmas bonuses.
What's that?
And a lousy bonus at Christmas.
Yeah, right. That was a fascinating place to work. It was really a very interesting facility. The New York Telephone had a switching facility in it, but I was with AT&T Long Lines, and it was a facility called New York 7. And it was the major long distance hub in and out of New York. For World's Fair fans, we were there, and they had a old picture phone sitting in a closet that had been back in the days when picture phone was a commercial service. It was used to test the lines. And I was talking to a guy in our Washington, D.C. office, and he said, "Yeah, we've got one of those here too." And the two of us figured out how to make it work again. And we proved why. I mean, we worked on it for probably about 3 weeks, about 3 weeks at the lunch hours getting it. When we finally got to work, it was like, "Oh, I can see you, you can see me." Okay, that was fun. It just shows you back then why picture phones didn't take off. If you didn't have something in particular to look at, the novelty of just seeing the guy you were talking to wore off real fast.
Well, plus you had to the other guy had to have a picture phone in order for it to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. Things to remember though, it took 12 voice circuits all grouped together in a giant parallel circuit to give the bandwidth to make one video call.
Yeah. Can you imagine what would have happened to
and
that?
look at it today.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Yeah.
today when we do FaceTime every day with our granddaughter, and you think nothing of it.
Yeah.
When I had a summer job at the Science Museum in Chicago, they had a picture phone connection to Disneyland. So it was
Yeah.
a big deal one day to get my California cousins to go out to the picture phone at Disneyland and talk to me while I was on the job.
Oh, that's neat. That's really fun.
You can't help but wonder what would have happened if the thing had taken off in this sense. That if you remember the early days of the internet, when everybody was on a dial-up connection, you could tell what time everybody got home from work, because suddenly your speed went from something relatively good, not compared to today's speeds, of course, but it would just drop down to taking hours for the simplest thing to load. So, if
Yeah.
everybody got on their picture phone and it's using all that bandwidth or wire width, in that case, bundle, what would have happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and again, it was expensive because back at that point in time, a phone call, from coast to coast might be $1 a minute. Well, now with picture phone, you needed 12 circuits, but they also charged a premium. So you were probably charging $25 a minute or something to do a phone call. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
it's like,
the
sorry, go ahead.
Commodore, when I had that darn thing, it would, my phone bill went into orbit. The wife was not happy in the
So-
early days.
There was a circuit, and I forget the name of it right now, where you could pay a monthly fee, and you could dial into a local modem and give back date yourself the old AT/DT commands to dial out on another city. And Carol came in one day, and I was chatting with somebody in a very primitive chat thing, and the guy was in Texas, and it was like a real omen of what was to come, and the guy was like, "Oh wow, how's the weather in California? Oh, it's great in Texas, and I've got this game, I'll give you a copy of it or whatever." But it was really kind of neat because you could talk to people or connect to bulletin boards all around the country for, $19.95 a month or something, and just it was a local phone call. When you were talking about your phone bill, it makes me think of one of my favorite episodes of Friends, where Phoebe is on the phone all weekend, and she's hearing, your call is very important to us, please continue to hold. And somebody says something to her about, God, Phoebe, what's the phone bill going to be like? And she goes, oh, it's toll free. It's an 801 number. And she said, no, that's Salt Lake City. 800 numbers are free. When I worked for the Navy, we were doing a thing penetrating other computer systems, and we did it through dial-up. And we had a computer system called a data point, and it would dial out, and we just basically dial in. We would try brute force attacking passwords. Try A, try B, try C. Get the AA. Well, we were in a hotel room, and we just let the thing. Oh, hey, this is great! Some super footage of the balloons. We let the thing just run, for a week, dialing out into the Navy base, trying to get in. And when we got checked out, the hotel was on like $37 a night, and our phone calls were $1,800 or something. And we didn't realize that they weren't local calls. So we just told the manager, obviously something's wrong with your phone system, because this thing, it looks like somebody was dialing the phone nonstop 24 hours a day. So they had to give us credit for it, but we had to make sure we never did that again.
You remind me of the BitTorrent days when we used to download movies,
Yeah.
albums.
Yep.
I think I still got a few of those somewhere.
Napster and all those things. Busy day. Looks like the LA freeways.
Yeah, rush hour.
No, they're moving.
Yeah, that's true.
The the LIE.
Yeah, goodness
That's
gracious.
when they.
Remember the disappointment if you weren't tall enough to get there? You'd stand on your tiptoes and stretch and do everything you could to try to be tall enough so you had the privilege of driving the car.
Yep. Well, remember they had that little small Autopia for those kids who couldn't make it. You could go over there. It was totally on a track, but at least you got in a car.
Yep, the midget Autopia.
Yeah.
That's a great shot, isn't it? With the monorail and the cars and.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was a nice shot earlier with the monorail going by and the lagoon in the bottom, and the guy comes jumping off the mountain and swinging through the picture. They really worked at timing that one nicely.
Yeah, it's the nice thing. If you're the official, photographer or something, you can, get on your walkie-talkie and say, okay, cue the monorail, cue the cars, go.
Yeah.
Anyone else just lose audio?
No, these are all silent. 8mm was pretty much very, very rare that you had sound on 8mm. When they went to Super 8, that's when sound became more popular. All right, let's hope that hatch is going to hold on this sub.
Well, these subs never had a problem.
No. Again,
oh boy,
they were designed better. Oh, here we go. We got a scuba diver obviously getting the sub going by.
Yeah, I'm imagining that all the originals for these films were on positive 16mm, and were made with positive copying. But
Yeah,
do you know if they ever shot a negative to begin with?
yeah. Hey, Don, could you mute yourself?
Me?
No,
Okay.
I think that's Don talking.
Brock. It's Brock's.
Brock, okay. There we go. Thank you. When the film is up, I don't get the usual screen that I can see things going real quick. Let's jump back here to see what we were talking about with. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's a section over there to the very right where at times it looks like there's additional footage.
Yeah, it was through the whole film on that first
Yeah.
film.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
see that
wondering,
there.
yeah, see it?
Yep.
More prominent. It's more prominent in other areas, but yeah, there you go, right there. See it?
Sure do. Yeah, it's just however they framed it, whatever they did. Weird,
Yeah, kind of weird.
crazy. Let me stop here, and I'm going to go to another film from 1973 of, hang on one second. We're going to go see the Southern California Railroad Museum, and we're, okay.
You know, do you have two monitors, Bill? Dual monitors?
No, I actually I can, but they're on. It's a weird setup. So here's on one. So this is again 1973 Paris, California, and this is a really neat collection. I have to go see in person, but these are all electric locomotives or all of the trolley cars, and they got a bunch of these had been in service, and they convinced when the railroads switched out their electrical system to go to diesels, why don't you donate it to this museum? And on this particular day, they had a day of half a dozen of them running.
Right. Oh,
It's in Paris,
Great.
California, and they are open pretty much every day. They run the trolleys and stuff on the weekends, and they have a package where you can. Most of the rides are free, but they have a package for $25 that let you run in the cab during the time the thing is running. So I just have to figure when it's not hotter than hell in Paris, and we'll go down.
Yeah, this
Oh,
just reminds me of when I was a kid watching the streetcars. They still had a few of them around when I was a kid, very young. And I remember they even had some buses that had those what do you call them? The pickup aerial thing that that goes up to the wire. They had buses that ran in the same place that the trains did, and they would use the same electrical to run them.
Yeah, they still had them in San Francisco, I believe.
Yeah, they might. I remember that. Yeah, but they had them in LA too.
Yeah. So now we get to Universal. We get the Flash Flood.
The buses run on a different system. They have two wires.
Oh,
Mhm.
did they? Okay.
Trolley
Well,
buses, but they since they're not on rails, they can't use just one wire.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Well, working at Universal, I can recognize these streets and buildings so well. You know, even when they've had fires, they've been really good rebuilding them. There's the Steamboat Enterprise, which has seen better days. We would come out on our lunch hour and feed the fish in this lake French fries as well. And boy, they were like piranha. I mean, these things were just so damn hungry. It was amazing. And we get to see the parting of the Red Sea. Pretty
That
neat
is
effect.
that is an interesting frame. See how it frames over the sprocket, but it doesn't to the top of the bottom? That's interesting. That's something weird on that camera.
there's actually a guy put together a site of all sorts of these apertures showing that this is probably shot on this, and that. Some of them, as we've seen in other weeks, goes all the way out to the left. I mean, all sorts of an extra, couple millimeters of footage.
I always found it interesting. The first time I went and saw that tour and saw the parting of the Red Seas, they pushed it so hard, and then they go up to it. It's like, this isn't what it looked like in the movie.
Yeah, I still think it's pretty neat though, when they pump the water out because they got to get it out there in a hurry.
Yeah.
And as you're going through, when it's at eye level and the water's pouring in,
Oh no, it's a neat effect, but just to say that was just how they did they tried to put it off as this is how they did the effect for the movie, and it's like, no.
Oh, no.
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 The best one was when Mel Brooks used it in History of the World.
What happens when he uses it?
In History of the World Part 1, they used a lot of the actual tour,
Right.
as they're escaping from the Roman section. Mel Brooks is there, raises his staff, the water goes down, the escapees go through, then you see two guys robbing Mel Brooks, and he's then saying a few choice words in Yiddish to them. It's a comical scene, the whole movie, but he actually used some of the parts of the tour in the movie.
I was telling Carol a week or so ago, one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he comes down, he's carrying 3 tablets, and he goes, I give you these 15 holy commandments, and he drops one, he goes, these 10 holy commandments.
Yeah.
And she was saying, we'll never know what the other 5 were. I said, that's probably good, because I probably break them all the time and don't realize it.
Thou
Well,
shalt
anyway,
not use cell
I'll ask
phones.
Toby tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What were you
Mel turned 100 this week.
Yes, amazing, isn't it? And he's
Dick Van Dyke's right behind him.
Dick Van Dyke's 101 almost. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
Turned
ahead
100
of,
last year.
Julie
All right.
Andrews is 95 or 96.
makes me feel young now. All right, well, let me get some still pictures here, and let's see. I got the share screen. Here we go. Share screen, and where'd you go? Huh. Okay, I guess I got to redo that. 1 second. Get my first picture ready again. And now we'll go back and try to share screen. Okay, where is the picture? Hang on, let me close this window. We gotta get our technical support team. There it is. Okay, and we do not need to optimize our video. And so we're in 1961. We're at Town Square, and looks like a nice day. And the in the background, you can see one of the little information booths over by the bank over there. They were scattered around when you came in. They information, but they'd also be happy to sell you postcards and that. So these 2 ladies are enjoying themselves. Very 1960 type glasses there.
Yeah.
And off we go for a ride on the Matterhorn, the Skyway through the Matterhorn. Over to the right, you can see Atlantic Bridgefield is still sponsoring the Autopia.
So what's the bird there?
That's the symbol of
The
Atlantic.
Atlantic-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're eagle.
That's again one of the things you wonder when they stopped the sponsorship of it. Who got the eagle? Is it sitting in somebody's backyard in Buena Park, or is it sitting in a landfill? You'd like to think somebody, took it home. But yeah, that was their symbol.
Yeah, actually, sitting on that giant ball makes it look like it laid a giant egg.
Yeah, the eagle and the golden egg. Don't you remember that story?
And not a bad day, smog wise. You can just make up the edge here, the pillar here that the cable comes running down here for Tinkerbell to come sliding down on the start the fireworks show. But this is what I like to, think about the joys of Kodacolor when it was, properly exposed and, stored for years. This particular set of slides did not take a tremendous amount of restoration, and they really, I think, came out very nice in terms of holding their color. Giant pile of dirt going over here. So again, I'd have to look up and see what they were building in 1961 in Tomorrowland. Again, lots of these little kiosks and things that they had back at that point, because if we remember at this stage, you could buy every ride needed a ticket, so you could buy a ticket here at the ticket seller window just for this ride, or then they switched to have area ticket booths. And then Monsanto House of the Future. So here's the eagle again. That is a big egg, right? Now, to show and date things, when was the last time anybody saw a baby carriage like that? I mean, that was just typical, baby carriage, and put the kid in there. But now you have to have a $12,000 stroller with GPS monitoring and all the other stuff. But, things have changed.
We'd use those wheels on our carts
Yeah.
or our soapboxes.
And I got a kick out of this when you get the rabbit and he's going, and this guy, he must have really liked Alice in Wonderland. I'm late. But you look at the guy and he's got a shirt and tie and everything, and he's racing across the park, and it's like, I got to get to that job interview. They're hiring down at the Smucker's Jam Shop.
Looks a bit like George Bush.
Yes, yeah. And then you could see back then they would do things like on the buses, they would put up banners that advertise things that they were doing in particular programs. And here I think they were promoting grad night. Pretty busy day there.
Take the picture already.
Yeah. I want to go get my Pepsi.
Hey, Bill, that that dirt pile you were talking about next to the moon ride,
Yeah.
that was probably construction for the flying saucers, because they were right next to it, if you
Oh,
remember.
okay. Yeah.
And that's about the time they would have been building it.
Yeah, that's probably right. Thank you. That's 1961. And let's see what we got here next.
No, it was nice about these pictures compared to the film you were showing. And I know it was because of what it was, but the sharpness in these, it's so nice to suddenly say, ooh, I can see this detail instead of this kind of mushy thing that you know what it is, but there's no detail to it.
Oh yeah, it's a total difference here. This is one of the pictures I like so much. I use as the rotating background on my my desktop here, but we can definitely see it's just about 11:01 in the morning, Timex time, and Disneyland has been doing well. 1969, we've got 75 million people so far. So, that's about an average weekend now, but they were doing pretty well.
$0.10 fare, but only one way.
Go west, young man, go west. Too bad the Skyway's gone, but quote from Alice in Wonderland up on it, which kind of interesting. On a Swiss Sky Ride, we get Alice, English Alice. And down here, Fantasyland Theater. Let's see if we can see some signage here. They're showing Winnie the Pooh here. They're not showing the same 3 cartoons that we saw over and over. And next to it, Welch's Grape Stand. I think that was, I mentioned in another talk, first time I'd ever seen white grape juice. So back in Brooklyn, we only had red, or dark grape juice.
My favorite spot,
What's that?
Skull Rock, my
Yeah.
favorite spot.
Oh, it's just great. And you can see all the waterworks and everything that they put in there.
So 65 at least, or 66 at least.
This is 69, yeah.
69, yeah, okay.
It was, I think a Small World opened in 67.
Mm-hmm. Well, Walt was there to open it, so it must have been 66.
It must have been then, yeah.
Mhm.
That's quite a piece of architecture. It's a small world.
It's
Really?
actually, it's a giant warehouse building behind it with a very amusing facade.
Yeah, no, but still, it in itself, as a facade and as a emblem of architecture, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, they did a great job on it. Now we get to see if you drain your submarine lagoon, what it looks like. So
Yeah.
they did not need to drain this one because the algae like they had to do in Florida. Periodically you need to do maintenance on it. So you bring your subs in, you put boards going across them so you can get down in the lagoon, and you come out here and redo all the floating fish and everything else. But it's a
Well, and they also had to repaint because over time the sun,
Yeah.
even going through the water, would just start to fade all the paints.
yeah. So you see all the buckets here of bringing the new stuff that we're gonna put out there, and but it kind of loses a little bit of the magic when you can get an idea of how it all works. Oak Terrace. Nice construction fence. And we're inside the Carousel of Progress, looking at the Kaleidophonic Orchestra organ, which would basically a giant light organ that would change colors to the sound of the music playing when you were coming into the theater.
Yeah.
Tom Morris, who's a real fan of the Carousel of Progress, redid this digitally at one of the D23 conventions, and he got a real kick that I actually had pictures of the real wall. And there's Father enjoying himself, and the dog down below.
Not long for this world now.
Yeah.
That fridge is still on the scene. Wonder if the fridge will survive the, yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
They'll survive the remodel.
There's Epcot Center in the background.
Just about to mention that. There he is. They're living at Epcot Center.
Yep.
And there's the model of it that you would see when you went upstairs.
Progress City, as they call
Yep.
it. At least they kept a small part of that model. It's always fun to watch it in Disney World.
Yep.
Wish they kept it all.
And we're going for our mission to Moon here. And back outside. Cars are on a rail now. Things have changed.
Ah, the Mary Blair mural.
I know, what a shame. And down below here are the picture phone booths. I wonder if this plaque is still at the somewhere in Tomorrowland. I can't recall
think
seeing it
so.
in recent years.
Let me see.
If we look up here, the
Climbers.
climbers are coming down. Sadly, they don't do that anymore. All right. That's 1969. Now we'll go back a couple of years, 1960. On this particular one, I've been doing some rescanning and trying to change a few things on them. So you see some of these twice. So this was done originally at 2,900 dots per inch. Then I rescanned it at 4,000. So they get a little clearer. I haven't finished doing the whole roll yet, so I've got the old ones mixed in with the new ones. You can really see though the difference in the scatter and some of the light levels and stuff.
Yeah.
The plaque is still there in a different form, but it's the same quote.
Oh, okay. I like the tour guide's outfits better back then.
Yeah, those were classy. I wonder why they changed
Yeah.
them.
Basically, I think a lot of people, frankly, did not look good in these as they grew up to be very large people.
Ah,
So they changed the costumes, I think, to fit the people.
This must be in the winter time. Did it have a month that this was done?
No, I don't believe this one did. Hang on one
Okay.
second.
A lot of the trees are bare, and it's bare from, losing their leaves for the winter.
It is September 21st, 1966. They
makes
added
sense. Okay.
the month and the date. The Columbian Dry Dock.
Go back to the first shot of that one. Oh,
What's that?
I was saying on that Columbia one, I want you to go back to the first, the one, this is the second one, right? Of the Columbia, of
Yeah.
the two. Go back to the first one a second. Yeah, it's really interesting. I noticed that on a couple of the others, when you go to that higher res, which is the second picture, correct?
Yes.
This is, the water takes on a whole new life to it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks, it looks kind of faded in a sense this way, and it comes, looks much nicer.
Yeah, you got a lot more ripples and stuff in it for one thing.
Yeah, just the colors are deeper and richer also in the reflection.
Yeah. Like you can really see the difference in the rocks on this one.
Yeah.
I'm looking like I got through this whole reel. I'm wondering why I kept the old ones. I have to go back and look at it again. Look at all the Indians up on the hill up here. They're waiting for their chief to lead them down. Yeah, you know, it's great fun, of course, you know, doing things and scanning them, and then as technology changes, having to rescan them. I keep saying now, if anybody, because it was done in a Cool Scan 4 and then a Cool Scan 5, if they ever came out with a Cool Scan 6, I was going to convince myself I didn't care. I was never going to go back and redo 50,000
Uh-huh.
again.
Yeah. Wow. That was much deeper in color.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I started doing on these too is when I was originally doing, I was using the color correction on the scanner a lot. And then I realized that I could do a better job of color correction on the using software rather than using the hardware. So I would scan this without the color correction, bring it into Photoshop, correct it there through software, and it did a better job because it really overexposed some of these areas when it was trying to do it the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
look at
say
that.
I probably
That's
say with my scanner. I don't use the color automatic correction at all.
Yeah,
I use the ice to take the noise out, and that's about it.
I take the noise and the dirt and scratches out.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah, digital ice does that pretty well, but the color correction is pretty lousy.
Almost to the end of these. Whoops.
Boy,
Come on.
yeah.
Big thing going around here, building New Orleans Square.
Oh,
On some of these, again, he obviously should not have blue ears, so it does a much better job in software.
It appears to me that the subsequent ones, like this one, at the higher stands, the latitude is a little wider, which is great, but it
Mhm.
also is that the exposure is down, a half a stop. Now I'm sure that's a that's software either in the hardware software or the software on the computer. And
Yeah,
I'm just bring that exposure up a half a stop. It would compare it in brightness to the original one. Like this one is overexposed.
yeah, like look here, again, this was done with all hardware. This is done in software. It made a huge difference.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, if you were to bring this one up a quarter of a stop, it would just brighten it just a hair, but it would still maintain the exposure latitude of the colors and the gray, the whole thing. I mean, there's a big difference.
hey
Yeah.
Bill, could you go back one real quick? There's a woman in that. What is she wearing a hat? What is that white thing? Nope,
Oh,
there you go. The woman there in the center frame. Is that a hat?
A
Yep.
hat
What the heck?
looks like a hat with feathers on it.
That's the strangest
1920s.
hat ever. Yeah.
1920s looks like.
That's a
Looks like a
weird looking
hat with
hat.
feathers on it and little like weird white things stuck in it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's flowers, I bet you.
Yeah, they
Probably.
probably are. Yeah.
That is a strange hat.
Now, how's this for a difference, huh?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Looks like a
That's
nighttime scene. Very nice. Wow.
Oh, almost through these. The Plaza Inn. People may not realize it, but the sidewalk out here at the Plaza Inn is electrically heated, so that if people are out here having a nice dinner, they didn't want to have people freezing, so they actually put heat through the floor here.
huh.
We're
Learn
expanding
something new every
the
day.
hotel here, so you can see the original wing and the expansion going up.
where Disneyland would not fit on the left-hand side, so they had to move. Became
Yeah.
Hotel Disneyland. They didn't help the
Didn't plan
shops,
right.
but it unevenly.
All right. Looks like these I'm still doing 2 versions, so we'll get through these quick. September, 1976. So we get to see America on Parade.
I just think you have all of next weekend to correct all these for you can show them again to us in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, right. Back in the days when you could fly over the park, you could do advertising. So we're all telling everybody about the sunburn pain. Make sure you get copper tone. Now, how about this price? 35 cents for popcorn. I think today you got to take out a loan to buy popcorn at Disneyland.
Well, same as a theater.
Oh yeah, kind of a cool shirt the guy's got though.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the shirt.
Yeah,
Boy, that is 70s, so. Looks
yeah,
like Peter Max.
does look like it. Got a whole bunch of camera stuff too.
Nikon.
You can see more copper tone, stops up here flying overhead.
I remember when they introduced the concept of the sky typing versus the sky writing. It was so nice because you could see it right away versus the old one. By the time he finished whatever the sentence was or the word was, the first part of it had blown away already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually equipped our plane for sky typing and did it for a while, and it was kind of interesting because you would put a big tank in the back seat of the oil that was going to burn out, and you had to run a hose in to the exhaust manifold to put it out there, and then the leader has a computer that just goes and tells everybody on off. So you may be on for one part, the guy next to you may be off as you're doing the letters. And
Yeah.
then, but it was one of these things where the guy that was doing it was not bothering to pay us for doing it. So it was like, okay, we're not going to fly it anymore. And he said, I want my stuff back. And I said, yeah, well, we want our money. So it took about 2 years to settle that damn problem. And that's why you don't see a lot of sky typers anymore, because nobody will work for the guy.
Yeah.
You also had to go up pretty high, so we had to take auxiliary oxygen to fly up there. Generally, the sky typing was done at 12,000 feet, and anything over 10 something you need oxygen.
Look at the 2 sky buckets there. Look at the one on the right, where everybody's just sitting on the one side. You can see a definite
tilted over.
more of a tilt to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Blood Alley for the people that work there.
That was a good movie with John Wayne.
Yeah, but this was a bad thing. I mean, I knew a gal who on her first day got between 2 cars, and somebody back here hit, and bam, 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 broke her leg. So she went to work in an office after that and never went back out to work in the park. Funny things you remember. Married the head of Disneyland security, and super nice guy, Ike Isaacson. I forget names as I meet people, but Ike was. I always thought what a job he had to keep everything safe and not piss off everybody, all the customers as he was doing it. He really was a great head of security. Really had it down pat. Looks different with the water in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, all this before we saw all the stuff down here. And you can see in some shots, some of these things, you just get to the point and you go, I'm not gonna bother fixing this. I mean, unfortunately, some mold gets into it, and if you wanted to spend hours and hours and hours, you could take out every single piece of it. But it's just
Uh,
not worth the time and effort at some points. And how's that for a difference?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
You go
I
back
love
to-
that.
Can you do the original?
yeah,
I love the shots of the old Matterhorn like this because before they built the walls up around the track, it was basically
Yeah.
a big hollow mountain. You can see
Oh,
the
yeah.
lift pits there.
you see the emergency evacuation stairs and other
Yeah.
odds and ends.
It was great.
I always loved the rock work that was the cross bracing of the steel.
Yeah.
Instead of disguising it, they just made, an X in the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
It's a natural
Yeah,
formation,
if
right?
you
Yeah. It's
wanted,
an,
well, I'm sorry, Brock. I was gonna say, if you wanted, you could take those two open areas, mask them, drop the exposure, add a little bit of blue, and then it'd really be a good photo, because I'd like to see the sky being blue.
Yeah, well, see, even on the original one, there was not a lot of color here. So if you look at it like this skyway is really blown out. When I did it, I was able to darken this area down a bit. But the way this was shot very, very dark, and I was able to use the computer to bump up the light here. And also, and as you can imagine, when you're bumping all this up, it automatically bumps this up. I was able to go back in and bump that back down.
Okay, well, I just screen captured this, so I'm gonna mess with it and send it to you, just
Sure,
because.
go ahead. Always love to see ways to improve it.
That's nice.
Well, unfortunately, it's one of those things that takes time. That, like you had said on the slide view back, getting rid of all the little watermarks, on the film.
Right.
That just isn't worth it.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to say enough's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Space Mountain going up.
Yep.
Looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the steel, raw steel there.
Yeah.
Yep.
They opened mid-70s, right?
Open, I think in 77.
Yeah. Mid to late
Yeah,
70s.
it's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was under construction when I got there in 76, and then I was pulled in to work on the computer system for it. So it opened in 77 or maybe 78, I don't recall. I still remember though the line went all the way down to the train station, and
Wow.
it was just the funny things you remember. We first got it running, and we wanted to test it, and we tested it with sandbags, and then we went into the employee cafeteria and asked who would like to ride it, and everybody wrote it. But then we would have them write it 3, 4, 5 times in a row because we were trying to do timing tests, and people were just getting sick. So the next time we go in the cafeteria, you go, "Who wants to go ride Space Mountain?" Everybody would put their head down and not look in your direction. But yeah, all the way down to Main Street, 4.5 hour wait for a 2-minute and 31-second ride.
You couldn't knock that second off and make it 2:30?
Yeah. Well, originally the whole thing was done in a system that didn't work. We have there was a scale, and the scale would weigh the weight of the rocket, and with all the people in it, and each rocket had basically a UPC type code that would say what the coefficient of friction was that particular rocket, and then the computer was supposed to dispatch you based on how fast your rocket was going to go compared to the other rocket in front of you for maximum loading. And it worked really, really great, except when people are in it, people tend to move around and look at things, and it was giving false weights to the scale. So again, the sandbags worked great. As soon as you put people in, the theory didn't work. So now everybody gets just dispatched, manually click, off you go.
Bill, before you change the picture, it's interesting. There was an earlier shot you had not in this role. It was earlier in our presentation today of the pirate ship, and there were no sails on it. And when I saw that, I
Yeah.
thought, I would have sworn there were sails on that thing. So I'm trying to think, because that was like in the 60s. We're in the
Yeah.
70s here now. I wondered, was that added later on, or did they just maybe?
I think when it first opened, they actually had sails that were, unfurled, and then I think they furled them, and then they seem to have come and gone over periods of time. My guess is as they wore out, they took them down and they didn't put them back for a while. Just like on the Columbia, sometimes it has sails, sometimes it doesn't. The Mark Twain has bunting, and it doesn't. So
Yeah,
it would be interesting to figure out the pattern over the years.
yeah.
So, okay, 1976. Oh, we go way back now. We go to 1958.
Ooh.
You can really see the sign here shows you a big difference. You can come over here. The entrance to the Monsanto house. Nothing ADA compliant, of course, at this point in time. Looks like this guy's got a cigar. You can't have that at Disneyland. Come on.
He's maybe attached to that camera on the tripod because it looks like he's consulting a light meter.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah, that could be. One thing about Disneyland over the years, they've had lots of different hats.
Yeah.
Talk about characters that have changed a lot.
Yep, the pigs.
Oh, I was thinking about Alice. She's old now.
Yeah, she is. You're right.
Alice is in a wheelchair being reeled down by the pigs.
Yeah.
I was going to say, hey, baby.
All right, now we jump to 71. And we load you up here at the tram at the Disneyland Hotel. We're not going to take the monorail. This is the station up there. And we're going to come in through the main gate.
What's the population now?
See if we can see it. It might be blocked out. Yeah, it's
Nope,
kind of
it's
blocked
blocked
out
out.
with a little thing here. But it's still Timex. And it's
Yep.
mid-afternoon.
Must be
And
raining.
I was going to say a rainy day, so we might have light crowds today. This is one of the things I've tried to do is, okay, I'll keep the original, but then I'll straighten it out because obviously here the train's going to fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how empty it is.
Different
Everyone's
day.
got trapped in a tiki
There you
room.
go. No sales on that one.
No,
So I think maybe when it first opened, they did not have sales.
Yeah.
well, again, this is 71, so
Oh, is this 70? I thought you said it was 58.
that was the last roll was 58. This is
Oh,
70.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. My mistake.
Bad
Didn't realize you
bad.
changed over already.
Yeah. And what are they showing at the Fantasyland Theater today? Can we see? Maybe you can point it
Looks like
out.
Winnie the Pooh again. Isn't that
No,
Tigger? Is that Tigger or not?
Oh, it
No,
says,
maybe
yeah,
that isn't.
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh here, and I can't quite make out what's on this sign. But I
It's like
can
it's a
see
black
the
and
Pooh
white,
here.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
That might be a Tigger, actually, on that sign.
Well, here, right where my cursor
Well, I
is,
don't think it is now that I look at it. Unless it's a black and white, you're right.
but up here inside the arches, it says the Pooh.
Yeah.
the Pooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the sign for the restrooms?
I thought this one came out really nice.
Oh, that's
Dark
interesting.
gray,
Yeah.
cloudy skies and everything, gloomy and everything. But, the whole thing showed up very nicely, the facade here.
There was a sign for the horses restroom. It was Winnie the Pooh.
Ah,
Thank you. I'm here all week.
and we go over to the Disneyland Hotel. This was super, super overexposed, but I was able to get it back again. Inside the lobby. The marina area out at the hotel. And some of these I looked at and I said, what was I thinking? How did I leave this giant scratch that went all the way across here? So I went ahead and now there's no giant scratch.
Right.
Of course, everything here has totally changed. I have to go back and rescan that one. But yeah, I got a project to figure out what I need to do to finish some of these rolls. Now we're going to go to 67 in Instamatic format slides, so we get to see the elephant bathing pool, the Lost Safari.
And there's not to Columbia. Yes, there's sales again.
Some sales.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's Columbia. That's not
Right.
Mhm.
Chicken of the Sea Pirate.
the Kodak picture spots. Boy, that's why so many people have the exact same pictures.
Can you go back one, Bill? Zoom in on.
There you
Oh God, that can't be. Zoom in by the bush there. The two people on the walkway. Guy in the
Okay.
yellow shirt. Okay, no.
Thought it was somebody you knew.
I thought I knew that person for a minute, but I do not.
Oh, okay.
That could have been. Yeah.
All right. Let's see that one.
Itty bitty Matterhorn.
Wait,
That's
talk about thumbnail.
that's reduced because I use it to print the labels for the CDs.
Ah, sort of a mini horn.
Yeah, reduced down to, there's no sense printing a CD label at 4,000 DPI.
When were these scanned?
What's that?
When were these scanned?
Oh, that's a good question. This particular one was scanned June 29th, 2004.
I'm just looking at these Instamatic slides. The lens looks kind of foggy on some of them, and I wonder if you took them back into Photoshop, if you could get some more clarity.
Yeah, these are all done. It's still at the 2900 on the earlier scanner. So I'm gonna go back and rescan these at 4,000 and correct the color in software. So these will be on my my improved list.
Someone's head.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's interesting. I was actually looking at a variety of movies on this, and at one point, for whatever reason, this guy is now changed to his feet are pointing in the other direction. And you wonder again, who changed it? Why? Was it ever they went off and redid the body and somebody just threw it out there, or did somebody make a conscious decision or whatever? But just weird to see years and years and years of him facing this way, and all of a sudden he's facing that way.
He's only playing dead.
Yes, that's right.
He's just mostly dead.
I'm not dead yet. for fans of Monty Python. Now, let's see, what year was this? This was October 1965. So a little blurry in this one. So the attendance here, 50 million. And Timex.
IMAX.
Got the little hand cart out front.
Yep, still there.
Mm.
Originally, they had two sets of trains, tracks out here, and they had a derailment, and they realized that having a switch track and everything was not a good idea. So they took that out and they left the rail car here on that stub of track.
Hmm.
Yeah, these are all done on the earlier scanner. And this one, you can even make out the metal work that he's standing on. You can even see the nozzle in his trunk here. So sometimes the illusion, they need to muddy the water up a little more.
What was the date on these again?
This was
Well, it was 50 million, so yeah, it'd have to be
65.
60s.
Yeah. This one I did an early brightening on it. I'll go back and redo these. The ivy's really taken over in this shot.
Yeah. Ah,
Is the bleach blonde looking? She's too young for gray hair.
Yeah,
It looks like
Got it.
another cigar.
sure does.
What did you say, Bill?
They used to put up signs here on the light poles for special things. So here they're letting you know that they've had great moments with Mr. Lincoln is now part of the show. Look how empty, huh?
wow.
The Barker bird outside the Tiki Birds. Went to a presentation at the studio about 2 weeks ago by a guy that wrote a very, very good book about when the Tiki Birds were designed and put in. And he had a whole thing about urban rumors. And he said that the Tiki Bird, the urban rumor is that the Tiki Bird, the Barker bird was taken out because the crowds would come by and look at them. Well, I do have some pictures taken out, pictures of people staring up at them, and it does kind of jam this area up. But one of the reasons they took them out was the weather was not kind to the tiki bird, and he actually had a very, very great shot of it raining, and they had an umbrella they would come out and put up over the bird in the rain. And but he found some of the internal memos saying we can't keep refeathering and repairing this bird, so he got taken out. And we have the
Uh,
Plaza
what
Pavilion.
was the name of that book, Bill?
Before the Birds Sang, I think is the name of it.
Okay, I've been wanting to put it on my list.
He did a really nice job on it, and if he ever comes to your town, his presentation was very, very well done. Can't quite
That
make.
is a lame excuse. I mean,
Well,
that is
you think if it sits out here and it gets rained on, I mean, the feathers and everything were coming off because they're held on by glue, and after a while it started looking ratty. So I get they could have put some sort of mechanism or a cover over them, but they went through about 6 different copies of them and decided that it was not worth it anymore. He was a last minute addition to the show, by the way. The guy Wally Bogue that did the voice of him recorded his dialogue only about a week before the thing opened. And he goes in his book, he goes into a whole bit on how they redid the show and screwed up some of the audio and some other odds and ends. And I was thinking it's too bad Glenn Barker's still not with us. So it would have been fascinating to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
No sales
So
in this.
then I would presume that the Barker bird was not introduced at Walt Disney World, at Magic
No.
Kingdom in Walt.
No, it was introduced at Disneyland.
Right, but they didn't carry him forth over into Magic Kingdom at Disney World.
Yeah, but if you notice there, he's in a more protected alcove. They learned from their mistake. Bear country, the bears are down here and rubbing up against the trees.
Okay, you just confused me. You said he was at Walt Disney World or was not?
He is at Walt Disney World, but he's in a protected area that the weather doesn't get him. So they were able to
Oh,
leave.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a whole
completely
different,
different.
yeah,
different
whole different introduction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I can see what that boy's interested in.
Yeah, he says that's one good looking white rabbit.
Alice's face looks almost like a mask there.
I think her eyes are wide open, or whatever they've done for the makeup, or
Actually,
Yeah.
it almost looks like a
Porcelain.
young.
Looks,
Is that you? Is that
looks
you,
like a
Don?
mask.
No, I think
see,
it's because of the blur.
It
Obviously
is.
the camera moved
Yeah.
during the shot, and I think
Yeah.
that blurriness just carried over to give it this real weird. It almost looks like a doll face, doesn't it?
it
Yeah,
does.
it does. It's
Plastic doll
porcelain.
face. Yeah.
But we
Just the
still know
camera
what the
effect,
boy's
it's still-
interested in.
Yeah, and she's got. You can definitely tell she's got blue eyes. So
Well,
we're
if that
gonna
was, I don't know what I'd be interested in. But again, I'd still think that looks like Don.
go. So we go to August of '65 now. The old style train cars we don't use anymore. And global van lines in the back. Haven't seen the horse-drawn Surrey forever and ever and ever. Oh, didn't we tell the guy you don't wear? Well, he's not wearing. I guess white socks are okay. And again, as we continue our tour of Hats of Disneyland. And we are not showing Phantom of the Opera for a change. We're showing Fatima's Dance. Now, that sounds like that would bring people into the cinema here, huh? And Art Festival. I don't know if it shows on the little sign here, but you could come in and get your portrait done. It shows down here in portrait, so people are lined up, and they this was a great thing. You have an empty part of the street, bring in subcontractors, and they get paid by the picture that they do and fill up that particular area.
Yeah.
That woman's green outfit.
What's that?
That woman's green outfit to the right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then the other side of the street we have the Flower Mart. And again, the banners that go up on things, we're now celebrating the Plaza Inn, which had been a licensee and is now being run by Disney. And over here, you can see Insurance of North America. They ran the hospitality house here where you could put your name in the guest book. And all those guest books are preserved in the archives today.
Yeah.
In the guy's talk, he also goes through how the building here is the Plaza Inn or whatever the restaurant is on the Main Street side, and how the back is Jungle Cruise themed, and how there was a very noticeable transition, a seam right down the middle of the building. And one of the reasons the Tiki Birds was put where it is because it blocks that seam between between Adventureland and Main Street.
Good picture.
How do you stop a charging elephant?
Take away his credit card.
Yay.
As I said, I have friends on the Jungle Cruise. We always are going crazy with stuff. Sign
Yeah.
here for Nature's Wonderland via the mine train, and arrow over that away.
Yeah.
Gazebo that's gone. Looks like it was Boy Scout Day. Let's
Do they
look at the-
still hold that?
No, they haven't had any days like that in years that I can recall.
That's a shame.
Now there's the attendance, 50 million, big time. And see all the boxes here? Can anybody guess what's in the boxes?
Balloons.
Balloons. They're gonna let all the balloons go to celebrate the 50 million. So whatever day, I could look it up and find out what the exact day was that they did 50 million, but they did a giant balloon release.
And put a special sign up, obviously.
Yep.
Or probably just over the other one, a banner or something.
Oh yeah, it's just a cloth banner hanging up over it. And there's our Wurlitzer Oregon shop and the Hills Brothers Coffee. Another different hat. In some ways, you could go down there today, other than this Beacon's truck not being there. Hasn't changed an awful lot. A lot more people, but in the last week or 2 weeks ago, we showed they had a "You Are Here" map at Disneyland. They took that out and they put up the schedule for what was going on in what area. Again, this train is long gone. No baggage car or anything today. Oh, this one I got a kick out of. The nomenclature, employees only. We don't use employee anymore. It's cast members only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should have been true even then. Strange.
Yeah. Now imagine taking the ride and the mud pots don't go off for you. That'd be disappointing. Big sign for Richfield sponsoring it. So they went from Atlantic Richfield just to Richfield and changed the signage. The bird is still here though. And the tour guide were inside the train. You can see part of why they got rid of the train. Very dark inside, hard to see through the windows, but she's giving the tour. It was also very bad for ventilation, so they got very, very hot inside. And we have a mermaid.
Woohoo!
Where's that boy? He can come over and look now.
Yeah.
She's got her harp out here and she's all set. Just the one mermaid. Where are her sisters?
She didn't play the harp very well, so she scared them off.
Hey,
Boy,
now how about
parking
the-
lot's empty.
Yeah.
There's a
California.
Mustang.
I see an Impala.
Now there's a Mustang, Impala, another Ford Galaxy.
Chevrolet station wagon right next to the Impala.
Yeah,
What's that green pickup truck? Lower left.
That's a Ford.
yeah.
Gorgeous.
Nice. But that's
What I was
worth today.
What I was trying to figure out is what these cars are here with the symbols on them. Can't make it out, but there's a whole bunch of them here that all look the
Yeah.
same, parked together.
Yeah. Well, it ain't the Mach 5 Speed Racer, that's for sure.
Maybe it's Acme Balloon Company. I don't know.
Well, it's a Chevy, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You could tell from the taillights. We have sales.
Sales up on the Columbia that day.
Yeah, pretty.
I think we got time for one more here. That was August 65. We'll do August 63. Again,
Bill, did you say it was Beacons that moved your furniture and broke it?
what's that?
Did you say it was Beacons that
Yes,
moved
yeah.
your
No, it
furniture?
was global. It was global
Oh.
van lines.
Oh, global.
Global.
Yeah, global.
That reminded me when I retired and moved to Arizona, I shopped around for moving companies, and then I got the bright idea to go to the company that Zenith used to ship their electronic equipment. And,
Oh,
and they were much more careful. And I still have some boxes in the garage that have their inventory stickers on them.
yeah, no, global, I'm sure, is long, long gone, but that was one hell of an experience. So let's end up today with July of 1962. We have Mickey out greeting some of the guests here. Can't make out the attendance, the sign is blocking it, but we still have people in cattle cars and flat cars. Gunfighter, he's the gambler here. Actually,
Yep.
here's the marshal. Yeah, so you can see his star. But they would have the shootouts here in Frontierland. Certainly don't do that anymore.
Look at the dress on the little girl there. That was interesting. Looks very 50s style.
Yeah,
Maybe early 60s at the most. But when did you have a date on this one?
yeah, July 62.
62. Okay, yeah.
I don't know if we can make out the sign here. The
Getting
restaurant.
Medicare now.
Yeah. Here, the Oaks Tavern. That's changed over the years. Some parts of the park, they had sunscreens out over the benches. They haven't had that in years.
Because the trees grew up. They didn't need them anymore.
Yeah. or they cost money, so they took them out.
Yeah.
So here is the moving walkway that would push everybody over to the load, unload area. And people trying to get their flying saucers to move. Well,
Yeah,
looks all
no,
fun when you add the beach balls, doesn't it?
yeah, no beach balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did that attraction last?
About 5 years.
Off and on.
Yeah. And Harbor
Yeah.
Boulevard has changed a little. Lots more big buildings here now.
I was going to jokingly say, if you look at that picture through the front of the, you can see an earthquake had just happened and the roads were all. the fault line that goes right through Disneyland. Nobody knows about.
Yes, and what I'd want to see is when it hits this section of the beam.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough ride.
Yeah, well, it's obviously not optically pure. Okay, I want you to name all these cars. So let's start back with this one here. Well, this looks like a bulldozer, and this looks like a pickup truck, and another bulldozer.
That's an old. It's a little bit of a kind of a dump truck, I think.
Yeah.
Small size.
It's like a farm truck.
Yeah, there you go.
Good luck finding. Oh,
There's a bug, Volkswagen Bug. I think there's a Studebaker there. Can't
here's
tell
the
for
bug,
sure.
Yeah. Couple campers out in the parking lot. It was actually, back then I didn't realize maybe a lot of them are just bleached out, but how many white, cars. I mean, there's still some color cars from the 50s or whatever, but it looks like at this point in time, people are going to lighter color cars.
Still a lot of white cars out on the road today. You've seen, my Challenger when we went out to lunch there. The other day I was going down Clinton Keith, which is the road that leads into our area from the 15. And all of a sudden I looked up and looked around me, and there was like 15 cars around me, and 12 of them were white. And I was in the middle of them all with this red car and all these white cars around me. It was so weird. It was just like, how many white cars are there here?
It must have looked like the cherry on top of the whipped cream, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking when you mentioned your car, when I don't know if you're into trains, but if we come down to Paris, I wouldn't mind going back to that restaurant again.
Yeah. Oh, the Irish place?
Pub. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, let me know if you decide to go out to that in Paris, because that's close to us. Maybe I'll join you out there.
Yeah, that could be fun. I'll check and see if we can do that. I actually know a guy that's a volunteer there, and I'm going to get in touch with him and see if maybe we can get behind the scenes peek at things.
Ooh,
too.
that'd be great. Yeah.
I see down here, I see these spotlights thinking, oh, Joey's going to go get one. The Douglas moon rocket. The yacht bar was changed to the yacht club because obviously the word bar had a negative connotation. So over the time that changed. Just the little things you notice over the years. And
Yeah.
busy day in the
Or they just got tired of people coming up asking for a beer.
I think that was probably
on a hot day.
Yeah.
That was
this
weird.
Was a nice one of Bear Country.
Yeah. Go back one when you're done with this.
This one?
No, the one of the just before it, but the on the river. Yeah. No, the next one. You went back to.
Okay.
There, this one here. It almost looks like the Tom Sawyer raft is out of position. I wonder if this was like early. No, it doesn't look that early in the day. And that's, if anything, it's later in the day. But it just looks too far forward around the island from where the crossing normally is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because we're out at the water wheel there.
Sometimes I have seen them overshoot and have to come back. So you wonder, trainee or something.
Current. During the flood stage of the river, it's in the spring.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on. Let's give the guy a break. He's trying to go off and he's got a rudder with a hole in it. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Wonder what that was. The Bears. Yeah, here's in a better spot.
And there's an outboard motor.
I was going to say the very themed boat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas tank. rare side of the backside of water.
From a train instead of from
Yeah.
a boat.
What most people don't realize is that made this rare is they got this train onto the Jungle Cruise. That's Schweitzer Falls. No. Tumbling rocks. Animal going up here.
Bobcat on the on the top of the cactus.
And made it to the top.
Teetering rock. Rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes.
Uh-oh. Here's the teetering rock. It's gonna come down on you. Twin Sister Falls. Looks like we got a real bird. And I think that will do it for today. So hope folks saw some old Disneyland. Next week, no talk before the 4th of July. Be out watching things explode. The fireworks show here in my area, they're predicting 100,000 people for the show. And
Did you?
You're not working it, are you?
so I'm in charge of traffic for it. So we got tranquilizers for our dogs. I think I may take a few of them before I go out.
I gotta buy some for mine.
Oh, it's always a bad night for the poor dog. You know, I mean, they luckily where we live, the city ends at the end of my block. Excuse me, hiccups all of a sudden. So we get noise from down below us, but some of these things are industrial, where literally the windows will shake on the house. And they just had a major bust on the people that had fireworks all over it. And I don't know if people follow the news up in Washington at all. Whidbey Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
700 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah. This it blew up an entire house. It was absolutely stuffed to the gills with fireworks, and it blew it up, and it damaged and took out some of the neighbors' houses. And if you've ever been out to Whidbey Island, it's not a very highly populated area. So they had to get fire trucks to come over on ferries to help. And they came from the Naval Air Station to help. And they had like 5 or 6 fire departments help because, you know, the average mom and pop volunteer fire department isn't ready to have, 2 tons of fireworks go off.
No,
So,
I have a friend that lives real close to it.
oh, do you? I hope he came out of it okay.
Yeah, one of my best friends in the Army. And then in Salt Lake here, one of the wildfires came within about a block of our house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did okay on that. That was recently?
Yeah, last weekend.
Oh, wow. That must have been pretty damn scary. You know, we've had to evacuate, I think, 4 or 5 times. And, the park across the street from me used to have a maintenance garage in it, which ain't there anymore because the fire got into it. And that was real interesting because it was full of tractors and mowers and all that, and all the gas tanks for them. And when that went up, boom.
Boomville.
Yeah, you have a tanks of gasoline, and they decided we're not going to rebuild that. And it used to be a big barn. It was a really nice old barn from the 20s or 30s, and again that burned down, and now it's an empty parking lot. It's but yeah, the closest the fire ever got to us was 2 houses away. It took out the palm trees in their front yard, and that was scary enough.
Yeah, we had the house next door's backyard went up. Yep.
Oh,
and
wow.
Our neighbor had pitched in for a fire hose that we keep, and he was the only guy that didn't pitch in. And if it wasn't for the fire hose, his house would have burned down. So.
Wow. The next time you say, hey, I got the hose, you got $50?
Yeah, he's long gone now, but yeah, he was cheapskate.
Well, did you ever see on old houses fire symbol on it for a fire company? Used to be that, and Scott may appreciate this, having been with the fire department, that it's in a lot of these small towns, as they had volunteer fire departments, and that you would get a thing you would put on the wall of your house to show you had paid into the fire department. And if you didn't pay, they would let your house burn down. And it happened a number of years ago where some town that did happen, and the firemen got there and they protected the houses on either side of it because they had the thing on the wall, and they didn't stop the burning down one. And the people were just ranting and railing, and how did the fire chief let this happen? And he goes, "You don't understand. If I put out this fire, nobody's ever going to donate. We're never going to be able to get any fire trucks, and the whole town will burn down." So it's, I mean, I can really understand that. Boy, what a tough choice to have to make. But if he
Yeah.
had gone off and put out that fire, the next year, if he was, you don't need to donate, they'll put it out anyway. So it's, when we went to like
Hmm.
at a timeshare in Florida, and that they had on the wall of the timeshare, they had the thing for each of the timeshare units, showing that they had donated to the local volunteer fire department. So
Well,
There was actually a lawsuit over that,
yeah,
where people who didn't donate sued the department's uh, financial company, because it's strange how some of these fire departments, especially in Nassau, work. They have corporations that fund the actual department.
hmm
And I don't know, it wasn't here in New York, it was outside, I forget which state, but a couple of owners sued the county after someone's house burned down on the fact that they hadn't donated. And I think I'll find the case law for it. But they ruled that they pay their taxes to the town. Yes, you're a volunteer agency, but you swore to protect and serve. Police department, you have to serve and protect their property as well. And the judge ruled the fire department financial association was
liable.
fault, and there was a judgment against them. And
Wow.
it did force the fire tax to greatly increase. And the department just said, we have to pay this settlement, and everyone's gonna have to pay.
yeah. Well,
I
in
forget
Baldwin,
what year.
in Baldwin, they would put your fire out for no matter what. I mean, it was never,
Oh, yeah.
never an issue. But some of these small rural towns, it's definitely a challenge. Again, if people don't pay, how do you keep the thing going? It's
Right.
Yeah, when we lived up in the Sierras, in the small town we were in there, we had a volunteer fire department. Although it did have a full-time fire chief, but everybody else was volunteer. And the way they handled it was you were taxed on your tax bill. There were separate things for that had been voted in by the community, the majority of the community is just saying, because that was it. Some people didn't want to have to pay for it, but they'd expect them to save their house, and that was the only way they got it. So this way they had guaranteed funding for their fire engines, for the chief, and for the stuff they needed, communications and all that stuff. And I think that's a fair way to do it, because the community voted to do this. And so if you come into the community, you're going to pay. It was just our area, Crowley Lake. That's where it applied, even though it was all of Mono County. We had our add-on. Other communities that had a full-time fire department didn't have to pay that. So that's how they got around working it. So there was no liability, and people were paying their fair share.
I remember as a kid, we would go to Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey, and a lot of the interstates weren't built by then. And you go through these small towns, and the volunteer fire departments would come out in the middle of the road carrying boots, fire boots, and ask people, to donate. And it would
Oh, yeah.
tie up traffic like crazy. And my father would get so pissed because he was a volunteer fireman. He's on, and they didn't do this sort of thing in our town. but you'd go to, let's say some town, Scottville, and you get there and they were out there asking for the money. And you're in the car, nobody had air conditioning back then. It's hot. You go to the next town and now you're at Warnerville. Oh, now they've got their boots out. And you get to by the time we got to the third town and my father had, 5 kids and the dog in the car and everything else, he was about ready to take those boots and shove it. he got so mad. And he'd fall up to the window and said, "Oh, goddamn fire, let me through. Oh, come on." And they'd stand in front of your car, not letting you move. And he would get so mad by about the third town, I thought he was going to need the police department out there. And my dad was that sort of guy that got upset a lot. Hey, Don, real quick, before you go, I love that video you have of the deer.
Oh, yeah, thanks. There's a whole group of people on a board I'm on trying to figure out what scared the deer. They think there might have been a bear cub there.
Oh,
so I got to go look it up. But yeah, I was really proud of that one.
For folks that haven't seen it, Don's trail cam captures a doe and her fawn, and they're at the doe's up in the front looking at something, and all of a sudden it goes, "Oh crap," and runs and knocks right into the fawn, which goes tumble, but it takes off after mom. So, and then you saw them the next day; they were okay.
Yeah, they showed up on the camera. The funny thing is, the fawn looks just like like Bambi on ice. He goes all 4 legs out and spins on the rock.
Spread eagle.
You have a YouTube channel, Don, or something?
Well, I put these out on Facebook. If you want 30 seconds, Bill, if you want me to show them that, I can do that.
Yeah, that'd just be great. I was going
to pull it up on Facebook real quick.
Yeah, hang on, let me make you co-host.
See, Bill, our firemen do the boot thing, but it's for toys for kids at Christmas.
Toys for tots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the toy boot out here once for the thing when we had to direct traffic around the mess they created. But yeah, they were collecting money for some charity, not for the fire department itself. All right, Don, you're all set.
All righty, I've got it up. Let me share the desktop here. I gotta pause it. Whoa! And I apologize about let me see if I can turn the sound down on it. There's a lot of background noise. This is actually taken not far from a road, but I've turned the sound off now. Let me get it shared. Let me see this. So
our governor banned fireworks too in the state of Utah.
Host tools. I got to find out. I'm not used to the new share options.
At the bottom of the screen, a green button, share screen.
You made me a co-host?
Yes, I did.
Okay, is that no? That's not encrypt first. Host tools. More. Whiteboard, show captions, record, transfer room settings, meeting info. No.
No, it should be at the bottom of this. Are you on a PC?
Yeah, I'm on a PC. It should be. I got audio and video, but I don't have share screen.
Should be right in the center. There's a green surround with an arrow pointing up. It says share up underneath. Getting that on the bottom.
Yeah. Let me see. Audio notes, my notes. Saturday companion, note, gallery, speaker. Let's go with speaker view maybe. I will get it now. Those tools. All right, well, we may have to. Oh, here it is. Share.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that would be it there. Can you folks see that?
Yep.
Okay, so you'll see.
I don't have a picture. It just tells me that you're sharing.
There it is. Moving yet.
There it is. Okay.
Here's the doe. Here's the fawn. And in front of the doe, in these bushes, you can't see it, but there is definitely something there. You will find out in a moment. So doe moves forward and wah! That was all of it.
Thanks, Aunt Bambi.
Yep.
Yep.
But if let me see, I'll show it to you one more time. I'll pause it right at the point where.
Too bad you can't slow the speed down.
Well, I'm going to go in with some tools and look. Okay, somebody say, yeah, see the movement right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 legs gone.
So let me try. Wow. She's scared. Yeah, you can just see something moving off. But the poor kid just slides on the rock in his stomach.
Yep.
So that one.
Now, how
It-
far
it-
is this from your house?
Well, this is on our property. That's probably about a 4-minute walk from here. I call this place Bobcat Ridge because we get a lot of pictures of bobcats crossing this area. And yeah, there was something there. But if I go down, also on the same spot on Bobcat Ridge,
Oh, yeah.
It's a bobcat.
no, in this case,
Oh,
a mama
Oh.
raccoon and her baby.
Aw.
There's a raccoon den off to the left, and apparently that, who knows, maybe the raccoon was scared of the doe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a lot of pictures on our trail cams here. I'll go ahead and surrender this, Bill. But we get a lot of pictures on our trail cams. How do I stop sharing now?
up at the very top, it should be. Stop sharing.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't need to watch my Facebook.
Here. There, I did. it
Yeah,
for you.
thank you. That's easier.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But yeah, we get on an average week, I have 5 trail cams out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An average of 200 videos a week.
Well,
across
we
all
got a
5.
bird camera for our backyard, and so far the only thing it gets is me and Carol walking past it.
Aw.
And my daughter got one up in Seattle, and they had the same one, but they had a big bird called
Okay.
a Stellar Jay.
I'll give him a
And
second.
it
I'll
kept
grab it.
falling off the bird feeder because it was too big. So then now they got a bigger one. But you know, she sent us, oh, we got this picture of this bird and this bird and that bird, and we have a picture of our patio. So
Well, guys, I've got to go. Our contractors
Take
are
care.
changing shift. I got to talk to them. Good seeing y'all. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Yep.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy
Yeah, hope
4th.
everybody
Yeah.
has a good one.
Thanks.
And
Be well,
hopefully
Bill.
no fires.
Hey, Bill,
Right,
Yeah.
please.
back on the funding side, the bills are starting to come into the house for my hospital stay. The Wandsworth Fire actually billed Medicare for transport to the hospital, and they
Oh,
got
okay.
paid.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a new one. When I was looking at the EOBs, like, holy, oh, so they're getting my tax money and they're getting Medicare. Great. Maybe I won't make them a check this year.
Well, we'll get Hey, write them a check. They did you a favor.
Well,
Yeah.
what was interesting is the medic who transported me is a deputy chief for the city
Oh,
for my old job. Now, I've been out so long, I don't know any of the officers from lieutenant up to the chief of the department. The last chief of the department of EMS, I knew when she started as an EMT in the Bronx. So and I retired about 5 or 6 years after that when I worked the Bronx. But I'm happy to the fact that I don't know anyone on the job anymore. So
yeah. Well,
it has its good points and its bad points, but I
And
still have
Scott,
my shield.
are you recovering okay?
It's slow. Matter of fact, I was doing most of my exercises during Bill's presentation. If you saw me standing up and moving to the side, I was doing some of the exercises. The day I don't go for PT, I do them a couple of times a day. Most of them, because a couple of them I have to lay down in the bed and raise my leg up. But the doctor told me I should reach 80% by the end of August, beginning of September. So by then I'll have a good idea where I'm at. Right now, I'm not using the walker really very little. I'm relying mainly on the cane, but distance-wise, it's going to be a long, hard road.
Yeah.
But I want to get to Utah next year.
All right, come see us.
I want to see Monument Valley so bad.
All right,
And
we've got a
And
place
then
to
go
stay.
and knock on Tom's door and say you have guests for the next 2 nights.
That's right.
Yeah, but
great. Well, I gotta run now. So
Yeah.
Right.
we'll
everyone
guys.
have
Bye,
a happy
everybody.
and safe 4th. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for asking.
Bye.
Sure.